Hey, guys, how are you? We are going to do a continuation of discipline. This is our last week, week 4. And what we're going to talk about today is kind of a look back. And what you're going to do is you're going to look around at your environment. So, for example, if you're in your bedroom and you're leaving your bedroom, you're going to stop and you're going to turn around and you're going to look at your bedroom and you're going to ask the question, what is it that needs to get cleaned up? So then when you're in your bathroom, the same thing. Then when you're in your office or if you're in your car, I want you to take a real evaluative look at your life. And this could be your paperwork. This could be your bills. This could be your relationships. And you're going to ask the question, what cleaning up in my life do I need to do today? And now what that means is that we want to create disciplines now that are in the now. And as we're doing that, we are gaining momentum and we're creating habits. And the building of habits are one of the key foundational principles that we're going to need to do with discipline. So you want to be able to develop habits that are creating a foundational structure in your life that will support the rest of your life and creating the life that you want. So that's what discipline is going to do. It's a move of advancement in your life toward the goals that you have. That's why next month we're going to be talking about a review of goals. And we're going to review the year before, right, 2021, and then we're going to create a system for 2022 and quarterly goals, monthly goals, and weekly and daily, so that you have created a system that's going to support the life that you want to create. So discipline is supposed to be something that's like a skeletal structure that can support a life that you would like to create. So think about now when you're doing this kind of look back, and I'm going to try and draw these two things together because next week it will be the next month. And the next month, what we're looking at is this last year that just passed. What in that year did you learn? How did you grow? What do you want to do differently this year? It's the same thing when I'm asking you to look in your bedroom or to look in your car or your office. I want you to look back and say, what have I been doing or thinking or how have I been being that has created my environment now? And what do I like about it? And what don't I like about it? And what would I like to do differently going forward? So now we're doing a little microcosm of what we're doing next month. So we're going to look at your life as it is now, and you're going to say, do a quick evaluation of just different areas of your life. You could be like, you may open up a desk drawer and say, wow, this is like a mess, and say, okay, well, instead, you're not going to beat yourself up. That's not what this is about. It's not about like, oh my God, I've been a shit show. No, it's about looking at it and say, oh, how did this get here like this? What did I learn from looking at this? What would I like to do differently going forward? And then understanding that if you're living with a desk that's really messy and it's creating like a discomfort every time you open the drawer, that's adding something to your life. And what we want to do is we want to add beautiful things to your life. There's this book that I read forever ago. My stepmom gave it to me. I was young, super young, and it's called Living a Beautiful Life. I don't even know if it's in publication, but it was about having all things around you that operate smoothly, that are pleasing aesthetically, that are things that create beauty in your life. So if you have a can opener that doesn't function well, that's not something that's creating beauty in your life. It's something that's causing difficulty, and these little micro stressors or discomforts or things that are creating a cumulative effect in our lives. So what we want to do through discipline and through micro habits and through daily structure of having 5 critical tasks and being on point with them, that you will slowly, incrementally, which will turn into a very large exponential effect, you will turn the ship and you'll create a beautiful life. So it will be that when you open a drawer, the drawer is pleasing to work in, and you're able to find the pen and the paperclip and all the different things that you want, because you've created these disciplines and these habits and this structure that is going to support what you're doing in your life. So this is the whole point of what we're doing. What we're doing here in this membership also is we're creating a life that is going to be something you can feel good about. It's also creating an atmosphere that supports your creation of the life that you're going toward and being the person that you really want to be. So instead of every time you walk in a door or you open up a closet or you go into your car, you criticize yourself, instead you take that and you turn it around and you say, how will I do this differently? So it might be I have a discipline. It's a very simple discipline, and I created it a few years ago, and it's just natural for me. My car is never messy. When I was in my 20s, my car was a shit show every single day. It was always a mess. It was never clean, and I couldn't figure out how to keep it clean. It was just always a mess. And now, basically, without fail, every time I leave my car, I take everything with me. So unless it's something that I need to leave in my car. So if there's garbage in my car, it comes out of my car with me. If I have to make 2 trips, I make 2 trips. It's just something I do. I don't even have to think about it anymore. So what I'm saying to you is that these are things that just become a natural part of life. They're no longer a chore. So for example, if you know you don't want this messy drawer or something, then you will incrementally just start straightening it up, and then you will eventually just live that way. And so this is what I want you to consider in terms of discipline. You're going to be looking at, so let me encapsulate this for you. So this week, what you're going to do is you're going to spend, as you're just going through your life, you enter a room. I want you to be aware of what you're saying to yourself. If you're saying things like, oh God, I can just never get this done, or oh, look at that, oh, I'm such a slob, or this, whatever, or when you put on clothes and you criticize yourself, or just all of those little voices that you're hearing and you're experiencing, these micro experiences throughout your day, take note of them and ask yourself, wait a minute, is this how I want to be? Is this how I want to live? And that's where the discipline comes in. So we bring in the awareness in the moment that you're in the environment that you're in. So you're noticing the things that you're saying to yourself, and you're noticing the condition of your environment. And when you notice the condition of your environment, I said this in one of my videos to you guys that you probably heard, is basically that our environment, we're creating our environment, and then our environment is speaking back to us. Our environment is telling us where we're at in our life, and it's also telling us things that create discomfort if our environment is not the way we want it. So we have this kind of notion that we're just a victim of who we are, and we're a victim of our bad habits, and that we're a victim of the environment that we've created, and that's just not true. So I want you to, we're going to get super granular next month in really, really systematically changing your life. That is a real goal. That's what we're doing. I'm going to look at the whole year, and it's going to be, a little more work next month. So consider for yourself as you're going through your day, wow, I'm not thrilled with this part right here. No, you're not beating yourself up. You're not finding all the reasons and the things that are wrong with you that have created this problem that you don't like. You're not doing that. That's not this exercise. What you're doing is you're taking note and you're living in the truth. And then what you're going to do and say, what discipline would really work well with this? And these disciplines are not like these hard work things. So what I told you about my car, it's just basically every time I leave my car, I just take my stuff with me. It's the same thing that I've taught you guys, that when you put your hand to something, don't stop till it's finished, because you'd be surprised that it really doesn't take a long time to do the dishes. It doesn't take a long time. This morning, when I was leaving my bedroom, I turned around, because this is a practice that I do. I turn around the room I'm in and I look at the condition I'm leaving it in. Sometimes if we're in a rush, we'll leave a room we're in a condition that when we come back to it, we don't feel good when we walk in that room. And really what we want to do is we want to leave every place wherever are better than when we found it. And so to me, if I'm going to go back into that bathroom or back into that bedroom when I come home at night, I want to feel good when I walk in. That's part of creating a beautiful life for me. And it's part of not being in debt. Because if you are not cleaning up after yourself as you're going, then you're accumulating debt. So now you owe the room a cleaning, so that by the end of the week, you have a big cleaning to do instead of incremental things that are not a big deal. So what I did this morning is I turned around and looked, and there was stuff laying around, and I knew that if I came back in, I wouldn't be happy. So I took 5 minutes, and literally that is all it took. I hung up a few things. I did things that made my room feel good to walk into, and it did not take me long. I went through the bathroom, made sure everything was the way I like it. Now, when I come home, I'm going to feel well. At the end of the night, if it's like, wow, this isn't done and I'm tired, my discipline is, you know what? I'm going to take 10 minutes now so I don't have that initial bad feeling when I wake up, because the 10 minutes of not sleeping and accomplishing something is more important to me than it's actually preventing me from having a wake up that's not pleasing to me, that could set the course of the rest of the day. So you understand what we're doing. You're going to do look backs. Everything. Relationships, the way you walked away from someone, not in a weird way where you're hyper vigilant and like beating yourself up, nothing like that. But you're going to be awake and aware in the now to the things that you're in. And then you're going to ask yourself, and you're going to jot down, this is a really simple PDF this week. You're just going to jot down the disciplines that you think would really, really add value to your life. And they're simple disciplines too. Don't forget that. This, in any area throughout this week that has not been beautiful, and say, what discipline would make that a beautiful area? You know, it could be your physicality, it could be your closet, it could be a relationship with a child, it could be at work, it could be a drawer, but the things that you're coming across. And it's okay if it's an exhaustive list. It doesn't mean that it all has to be done now and there's no urgency involved here. It's being aware. Once we're aware of something and we start to live in the solution as opposed to the problem, like what discipline would make this better? What discipline would make this beautiful? Now our brain is already at it. So you'd be surprised if you just say, it's not like a hard thing for me. I don't think like, oh, I got to take these cups out of my car. I just do it because it's become my life to live a beautiful life. When I look at things that I'm not pleased with, it doesn't feel beautiful anymore, you know, and that's what I'm very geared toward. We want our homeostasis, our baseline, our balance in our body, our mind, our heart to be at a higher level. So when it dips to something that's disorganized or uncomfortable or whatever, we feel it. And then we want our bodies to get to the point where it's pulling us toward the beautiful life as opposed to the disorganized life that we were used to, or the uncomfortable life that we were used to. And I just want to, just for disclaimer's sake, because the use of the word uncomfortable and comfortable is a little bit of a pet peeve with me. So I'm just going to tell you what it is. So basically, when I think about discomfort, I believe that discomfort produces change, and it's a good thing. So I'm not looking to be comfortable in all situations. I'm looking to create beauty and to create a good life, but I am not looking for comfort. So it's not that I mind comfort, and it depends on how we operationally define comfort. But I think that we've grown in a society to become people who are looking for comfort and their excuse is that I'm not going to do this because I'm not comfortable with it. And let me tell you something. The more I have never, ever, ever met a successful person who stayed in their comfort zone. So to me, anything that we're going to do that's going to be of greatness, it's going to go through discomfort. And to me, the path to discipline and greatness, it's not about, I'm doing this to feel more comfortable. Like, yeah, you're going to have more fluidity in your life, and things will flow, and that will feel more comfortable. But this is a life of creation and growing and fluidity and discomfort, because in order to get anywhere, you got to be able to go through that. That's all I want to say to you guys, and I hope you enjoy this week. I'm really looking forward to next month. It's going to be a little bit of a power thing. If you have anybody who's interested, this really would be a really good time to sign up. Beginning of the year, it's going to be good, and I'm really this year you guys have been really super patient with me because of everything that happened in my life. So I feel like I'm going to really hit the ground running better, with this program. So you guys, your core group's been very helpful and good. So I'm looking forward to it. Please, if you could invite people that you think it would be of value to. One reason is that it's really super important to me that people, women, grow out of the lives that they're living in that they don't like. That's really important to me. But another aspect is that in order to do this, it requires actually, like a lot of work, a lot of hours of work, which maybe you don't see, but behind the scenes, it requires a lot of work. So, and what I need to do is I need to have more people involved in this, so it's worth doing. And to me, it's worth doing if one person's life changes. I don't want you to misunderstand me, but it is really like I'm offering a super low rate because I want as many people to come in as possible so that they can get what they need. But it also requires me to have more people so that it's actually something that I can actually function doing, because I have somebody who works for me who also does work here on it. So just if you could offer it only to people, obviously, that will do well with it, okay? Because that's the main goal. Somebody who's really going to get benefit. I don't want people on here whose lives aren't going to change. So remember, this is all about, changing the brain of the female and getting us to being really, really powerhouses and living the life that we really want to live. Love you guys so much. I will see you soon.